Hi, my name is Kemila Zsange. I'm a clinical counseling hypnotherapist. I travel quite a lot, so when I travel, I don't have a busy client work, so I figure I'm gonna just use the travel opportunities to do some Q&A here in my channel. Um, I'm right now in a very beautiful Quebec little town called Saint-Paul-De-L'ile-Aux-Noix, I believe that's how it's called. I received an email from one of my clients. He's a Skype client. He first told me a dream that he remembered a night before. I'm not going to go to detail of this dream, and let me call him S. So S asked me at the end, I would really like to dig into the stream as well because I believe it to be directly linked to the other dreams and strange things going on. Also, I would like instruction or clarification on how to recall these types of things on my own, as I know I will only have your guidance for so long. Can't wait for our last two sessions. Should be blast. Thanks. Thank you, S. So it's a tricky question. How do I recall the dreams? And we worked. I have worked with S for a while, and of course in hypnosis, it's very easy to recall a dream. The way in hypnosis we recall dreams is to actually to relive that moment, to re-experience it. And when I induce a trance state, it's as if we get into a state that time does not exist. So first what I do is when I work with someone, helping them recalling the dreams, the first I would ask them consciously what they actually remember. So I would ask, what do you remember first? So it's little bits and pieces and information they remember certain things. So I make notes, I write them down first, and based on those things that they do remember in the conscious mind, I would induce the trance state we call this hypnotic trance, and in which we drop into the deep subconscious memory, if you wish, but that's a state that as if time does not exist. So that I would use the notes, I would use what I've got first, pieces and bits of the information, and use this to get this person, my client, into that state of remembering, as if the dream starts again. In a sense, it's not really to remember as if linearly, as if our how good my memory is, or it has nothing to do with that. So that to evoke, to relive that moment, and this is how I do it. Now, how do you do this memory recall of your dreams on your own? First, of course, you need to get into a hypnotic state. So using self-hypnosis to do the same, basically, you ask yourself first, what do I remember? And then you write them down, the information, the pieces of information that you do remember, like daytime, nighttime, where you are, impressions and feelings, the sensory inputs of what you heard, what you saw, what you felt, and all of any of this information, just to write them down. Doesn't have to be stories or sentences, just words, phrases. And when you write them down and you put them aside, just to write beside you, and you need to learn some little self-hypnosis techniques. Of course, for my client S, I'm going to teach him how to do that in our next session. But there are techniques, self-hypnosis techniques you can learn. The easiest one would be you sit or recline wherever you are, or even lie down, and then you look up, your eyelids looking up, and you take 3 deep breaths, and you give yourself suggestion that my eyelids are getting heavier and heavier, and to the point that your eyelids become so heavy that you might want to close them. And when the eyelids close, and you give yourself suggestion to go deeper with each breath I take, I'm going deeper. And the deeper I go, the better I feel. The better I feel, the deeper I go. And you may count from 5 down to 0 to take yourself a little deeper, and you give yourself suggestion. Each descending number will take me deeper. And or you may even start to use a wonderful deepener, which is walking downstairs as if there are 10 steps of a staircase. You walk downstairs. Every step you take, you count yourself down from 10 to 1, and you give yourself suggestion that when I reach the bottom of the staircase, I am going to enter a doorway, and that is a doorway that is going to lead me back into my dream. And because you have taken some notes and some bits and pieces of information on your notes, you wrote them down, and that's still there. And when you take yourself downstairs into the doorway back to the dream, and you can give yourself a suggestion that I'm going to stay in this hypnotic state, and I'm going to open my eyes, and the reminder, the cue of the words on my notebook will help me getting deeper into the hypnotic memory recall of my dream. And so you open your eyes, you stay in the state, and those words are the cue for you to take it in, and you close your eyes back down, and you close down your eyelids, and you allow those words to take you further into that dream. Now the key for this is to stay as calm as you possibly can, as if it's happening. There's no anxiety feeling in it. There's no, I have to get it. It's just there already. It's all there because time does not exist in this hypnotic state, and therefore there's no passage of time, so you don't forget. It's always there waiting for you. And so this is how you learn, you use self-hypnosis, helping you to remember dreams. There are some other tips that I'm going to give you. If, of course, for my client S, this is the theme, what he's going through, certain types of dreams. And I'm going to just tell him when I work with him next session that you just give yourself suggestion before even you go to bed, before even you fall into sleep. Give yourself suggestion. I'm going to dream tonight, and in my dream, I'm going to re-experience, or I'm going to experience whatever that is, and I will remember my dreams upon waking up. And so you have either a notebook or a pen beside your pillow, or even a recorder like a phone. You can record your voice. So when you're just awake, you are the most fresh state. So you record it or you write them down, and that's one way to do it, and that will help because sometimes when you think you remember it, and you are going to do it a little later, and you get up, and by the time you brush your teeth, you probably forget half of it. And by the time you finish your breakfast, you start to sit down and want to write down. Probably you remember mostly gone. You probably remember 5 or 10%. So the freshest moment, early in the morning before you do anything else, write them down or record them. Talk to your recorder, and these are the ways you can that can help you further remember the dreams. It takes some practice, of course. Just like I would say, doing self-hypnosis, remembering dreams, it's doable. It takes practice, but it's like the best hairdresser in town. It's kind of a little awkward to try to cut your own hair, so it's doable, but it does take some patience and practice. So that's what I do. I help people remembering all sorts of things, not just dreams, but the misplaced items like jewelry and passwords, memories that in the childhood. It's all there. It's equally accessible. Any dreams. So hypnosis is a very good tool helping people remember things in the subconscious mind, because everything you have ever experienced, you never forget it. You may lose access to the memories at certain state, but you never lose memory. You just lose the access. You don't lose it. You don't have you may not have access to that memory at certain moments, but the hypnotic state can help you change the state. When you change the state, you become the access to the memories become very easy. So I hope this helps. And let me just show you how beautiful this place is. It's a river. It's a beautiful river. It's called the Richelieu.